Are you asking that question on how you can train speed and strength? You want to get stronger, but you don't want to be bulky. You want to make sure you don't get slower. That's the question we always get asked. Dane, can I get stronger and not get slower? If that's what you think, stay tuned to the rest of this video because we've got a whole bunch of information that can answer all of your questions. What's up, everybody? I'm Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and one of the things that we cover in all of our YouTube information is we cover the topics of sports performance education and strength training based education so that you can constantly make improvements in your sport, whatever that might be. So if this is your first time to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, the little bell, so that you get all the information that we put out on a regular basis. Comment down below if this is the first time you've been to the channel. We're gonna try and educate you and help you achieve your goals, whatever that might be and whatever that sport is that you're participating in. So in today's video, what we want to talk about is how can we train speed and strength at the same time, and what does that initially lead to? And so this is what we've done. We've developed an entire program in our Agile and Hostile program, which is about speed, it's about strength, and how you can incorporate those together. Same with our How to Get Faster training program. These are all principles that we utilize to develop this program so that you can get faster and you can get agile while increasing that strength. And so we've got to comprehend from the beginning what makes someone faster. We know what stretch shortening cycles are based off of our previous videos in plyometrics. We know that having a proper motor mechanics is very, very important for making somebody fast. We know that being strong is important for making somebody quick and making somebody accelerate rapidly. So when someone is fast, they have a tremendous amount of power output and they have very good mobility, typically in their hips. They have good trunk stability. They have good proprioception. So what we like to do when we're training specifically is that we end up developing that proprioception early on in a training program. So if we go into when to do speed, when to do strength. So if somebody comes into Garage Strength, we like to do exercises in the beginning of that training session, like walking on PVC pipe, barefoot towel curls, skips for height, skips for distance, maybe some bounds up the steps, so we can do speed work in the beginning of that training session. And that also incorporates speed-based lifts. So lifts like a snatch, lifts like cleans, even fast front squats or fast back squats, fast single leg squats, movements that can increase proprioception, that can increase technical literacy, that can increase mobility. We like to do these complex movements in the beginning of a training session. So understanding that what makes somebody fast is they're gonna have greater proprioception. They're gonna have greater muscular control throughout their entire body. They're gonna have greater mobility. They're gonna have greater trunk stability. So we wanna do the difficult tasks early on in a training session. When you can do those difficult tasks early on in a training session, you won't be as fatigued neurologically, and so you can put out a greater effort and you can understand how those efforts then transfer over to that sporting realm, whatever that sport that you might be in. Okay, so then when should we do strength training based? In a single day, if we can think about, we're gonna start off, we wanna work on proprioception, we want to work on being explosive in multiple joint angles. We want to work on speed of movement under the bar, so Olympic lifts and fast squats. We want to work on stretch shortening cycle training, so some plyometric work. And then we can start to dive into our strength training work. The reason why we save strength training work for later in the workout is it's not as complex from motor proposition perspective. So if we're sprinting or if we're doing jumps or if we're doing plyometrics, the motor proposition is a little bit more complex, and then that makes it harder to execute. It takes a little bit more energy mentally. When we're doing strength-based movements like a simple back squat or a bench press or a walking lunges, it's a little bit easier and it's less taxing on the body, but it can still contribute to speed. So if we understand what makes somebody fast, is trunk stability. It is unilateral strength. It is unilateral mobility. It's being capable of having your hamstrings recruit and coordinate with your glutes and your quads at the same time. Now we can sit there and say, okay, we've done the speed work. So in this same hypothetical training session, now we can get into the strength components. We know that walking lunges, we know that step-ups target the glutes and the quads. We know that back squats can contribute quite a bit to speed-based training, into that horizontal ground reaction force. And so if we understand that these strength components like trunk stability, mobility, strength in the quads, strength in the hamstrings, contribute to speed and they contribute to agility, we know all that stuff happens when we're doing that strength work. So the strength components then will be saved for after we do that speed-based training. So the next question that we typically get is, how frequently should we do speed-based or agility-based training in with our strength work? And so one of the things that we've noticed over the last decade of training is that it's very easy to increase speed if the mechanics are taught properly and if the athlete is capable of understanding it and they're able to coordinate and implement those strength gains. So we recommend doing speed work 2 to 3 days a week. Okay, so if you're gonna come in and train now, when we're doing strength training work, we should be training your legs 2 to 3 days a week. And that's when we've got to figure out, okay, should we do that speed-based training before the leg work? And then we can figure out what is the leak that we see in that athlete? Where are they leaking? Is it a strength-based issue or is it a speed-based issue? And whatever issue is more dominant, that's what we're going to focus on, because you are only as strong as your weakest link. So typically we're going to do speed-based stuff twice a week. We're going to do proprioception work before every single workout in the weight room. And every single workout in the weight room will also have speed-based lifts to increase that neural drive. And the more we can train that neural drive, the more we can sort of unite that speed and strength-based training. So a simple day might look like a good proprioceptive warm-up. Then we're going to do some plyometrics, maybe hurdle hops, stair jumps, 5 sets of 3. Then we're gonna get in, we're gonna do some power snatches to work on good explosiveness, good overhead stability, good mobility in the hole in our hips and in our thoracic spine. And then we're gonna get over and we're gonna do some front squats, and we might do some front squats with some ab wheels so that we can create mobility and strength in our quads and our hamstrings and continue to improve our trunk stability. And then we'll finish with, let's say, lunges and reverse hypers. And so now we're working that strength component that's a lot easier. It's not as complex. And if we do that twice a week, paired with the agility work or paired with that speed work, we're going to continue to develop our strength and we're going to continue to develop our speed. And ultimately, we're going to be more agile. We're going to be able to decelerate into cuts and get out of those cuts effectively so that we can continue to make progress on the athletic field. And this is what we use in our Agile and Hostile program that's available down below, or you can head over to garagestrength.com. You can pick that up and you can make those gains in the speed realm and in that strength realm. If you like this information, again, all of the content that we're going to be putting out is going to be based around sports performance education and strength training education. You can learn a whole bunch to continue to help solve your problems and get you to that upper echelon in sports performance. Peace.